Hey y'all, if you hear children in the background, apologies for that. They are outside having the time of their life playing. But felt it was a good opportunity to come on here and discuss a decision that I have recently made. So, yes, I am no longer and will no longer be celebrating Halloween. So, there's a few reasons. There's one main reason, and it never really clicked to me that celebrating Halloween actually was counter God or counter Christ, right? So it was something that you did, something that you grew up doing, getting dressed, eating candy, going to parties, what have you. So it was just a part of your culture. You never really critiqued it or really thought about what it was. You kind of understood, we celebrate essentially death on that day. Um, but you did it in a fun way, right? It was masked as being fun, right? Um, wasn't really until I was invited to an event this year that I had to really sit down and it was weighing heavily on my spirit. And it was just like, Mia, you know that at this point in your life, you're grown, your analytical skills are there, they're working. um, this is not sitting right. So it took me 2 weeks actually to get to the point where I could express that to the people that invited me because, I didn't want to disappoint anybody. I didn't want to say, sorry, we can't do that. So it took me a while, and that was something that I had to assess too. That I didn't want to disappoint man, as opposed to being true to my spirit and my soul and being obedient to God. Like, what? How does that even compare? But it is a real thing. It is a real thing for many people. So finally, one morning, I was just like, forget it. Let me go ahead and send this text. So I sent the text, and lo and behold, one of the person who invited me called me afterwards and was like, "Thank you for sending that, because I really didn't want to do it anyway." So it went to show, like, you have to stay true to who you are and what your spirit is telling you, right? So the further research I've done on it, because I've done lots of research. I've listened to a lot of people who were really in deep into the occult of it, had very various understandings of what it is, what happens, why it happens, the history of it, going back to the Druids and the Germanic such and such and such. Um, it is a horrific holiday. And I shouldn't even call it a holiday. It's a horrific event. Even the creator of, I'm not gonna call it a church, so I will call it the group of Satan, was quoted by saying, Satan or the devil thanks all Christians for allowing their children to worship and honor me for one day out the year. Like, what? So as a true Christian in your heart, in your spirit, oh, look, look, there's no way. There's no way. So there's really some discernment that had to happen. There is some questioning that had to happen. And I have questioned many things about religion. I have questioned many, many things, okay, throughout my years. Um, but I never really reached Halloween, and it's probably because it wasn't until I became a mom that really, and it kind of started last year, to be honest. Last year I was like, I'm not with it. I'm not doing nothing. So I'm gonna be in the house. And someone came and picked up my daughter, and they got dressed up and went to the mall. But it kind of started last year, but this year I was really like, look, it's time to declare it. It's time to let people know. Don't ask me to pull up. Don't ask me to pull up. Don't ask me about no costume, what I'm doing, about no decorations, like none of it. Okay? Cuz it's a real thing. Like, it's a real thing. We're fighting against things that are unseen. unseen. And high key, this is coming from someone who has had an experience of low-key being possessed. Not in the sense of like what they show in the movies, but body possession is a real thing. It has happened to me. Thank God it was quick and it was not a prolonged period of time. But it is real, and I know for a fact that on Halloween the veil, the line between this realm and another one is extremely thin. So, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Like, I'm straight. But if anybody else out there is feeling like, if it's weighing heavily on your spirit, like you shouldn't be celebrating it, but for whatever reason you feel like there's still a pressure there, or you don't want to disappoint your kids, or you don't want to disappoint your friends, it ain't about them. It's not about them. This is deeper. You can still stay home and watch movies with your kids or whatever, and if they're older you can explain it to them, but that's a decision that you need to make for your household, and you need to make a decision that speaks to your spirit and rests well with your spirit. Okay? So this is not about other men on this planet. This is about you and God, your house and God. Okay? Because you can't be out here ghouling and galling, okay, on Saturday night, worshiping Satan and all his theatrics, and then Sunday morning you want to rise up and go to church. It doesn't match. It does not match. So, yes, I struggled with it. Yes, it's been weighing on my heart. Yes, I finally told somebody, look, that's not me. That's not me. And everything was fine. Everything was a-okay. So if you needed to hear this little motivation to move forward in your decision, I hope this helped you. If you still do decide to go out and celebrate Halloween, be safe. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care.